I'd see him sitting on that couch all day long, just staring at that Hollywood hogwash.
Our favorite show was Hollywood Hogwash.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Hollywood Hogwash. I'm Andrew Pisano, along with my brother Joe Pisano and Aaron Rosa. It's another week. It's another episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
Is this the last one?
No.
Oh, there's more.
There's 2 more after this.
Oh, goodness. Long season.
Yes.
All right.
10 episodes, I think. This is episode 8. Another guy that I really didn't know shit about at all. The original SHEIK. Lots of people have copied him as, I mean, we've already known this, you know, the Iron Sheik in WWE.
I'm surprised they didn't go into that.
Just a little bit.
Tiny bit.
Little
Just
bit,
about
yeah.
how,
Touched on it.
Like, he became the more popular Sheik only because he was part of WWE.
Yeah.
And he basically copied everything.
Yeah. They're probably saving that for the Iron Sheik episode.
Oh, okay.
Down the line. Maybe
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean? They should have done that episode while Iron Sheik was still alive, because then they could have interviewed him and with his insane batshit stuff.
Right.
So
Also, I don't know how many eyeballs Iron Sheik was sticking forks into.
Well,
yeah,
he
certainly
wasn't
not in WWE.
that crazy.
Yeah. But I thought it was another good episode. We're definitely going to get into everything there. But first, make sure you go to patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. You get the main show ad-free and before everyone else. So if you don't like listening to ads on this show, then that's one reason to do it. We've also got over 100 bonus podcasts that includes brackets and reviews of TV shows like The Last of Us Season 2, which we're currently doing. We've got Daredevil that we just did, The Boys, Invincible, Penguin, Squid Game, X-Men 97, Low-Key, and Mr. McMahon. And some other shitty shows like Secret Invasion and, you know, there's some other bad ones.
Some other shitty shows.
There's some other bad ones like that. But yeah, go to patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. We've got over 200 subscribers on there, so they're pretty cool, those people.
Yeah.
So if you want to be cool like them, you know, join the Cool Kids Club. There you go. All right, Dark Side of the Ring, the original SHEIK. We start off with RVT saying he was the first to use a fireball and to bring a snake in the ring.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
He was banned from New York City for starting riots, apparently. I feel like this episode, there was a lot of exaggerated claims.
Probably.
By a lot of people.
Yes.
Because it's wrestling. And also, like, you know, this story starts in the 60s, goes into the 70s, where there wasn't a lot of recording. It was like, you can't prove this happened, so
Right.
we're just going to say it. It's a lot of it's hearsay. I don't think Jim Cornette operates a lot on hearsay, but if there's a story told, you know what I mean? Like,
Continue the story.
yeah,
Keep it alive.
right. And obviously he hasn't, you know, there's more than Cornette, but there are a lot of people making a lot of crazy claims. So you always have to wonder in wrestling, you know, where does kayfabe meet reality?
It's really interesting as, you know, obviously I picked up wrestling in the 80s.
Yeah.
And, you know, we knew, but like you didn't want to know. It was kind of like, I don't know, how old are our average fans? Kind of like Santa Claus when you're 12,
Yeah.
11. Like you kind of know.
Right.
But you don't really want to like say anything because then maybe the presents stop. That's what wrestling was like when you're like a kid and like in the 80s. But in the 60s, I guess it was still, is it real?
Oh,
they
there was
reported
plenty,
it.
yeah.
They reported it in the newspapers.
Yeah.
The results were reported when I was a kid. We would read the results at the back of the sports section and everything. So when they say people are attacking him and stabbing him, and
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. They think he's a real life bad guy.
There's living your gimmick for sure, and then there's making your grandkids call you the Sheik.
Right.
Like this guy
was
was
insane.
next level.
That was insane.
Ah, he's the Sheik. You know what
But
I mean?
when they were like getting into that, I was like, he's like the Daniel Day-Lewis of wrestling.
Yes.
You know, like on the set of Lincoln, everyone had to call Daniel Day-Lewis Lincoln all the time. What would
Yeah.
you like for lunch, Mr. Lincoln? And thank you for everything you've done. Yeah,
It's shocking that you're alive right now, Mr.
yeah,
Lincoln.
right. So yeah, RVD said he had so much love for the business. I have no doubt that he would have liked to die in the ring.
You know, I don't remember how he died, so I guess I was like waiting for that.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he did die in the ring. I thought that was like a teaser.
Right.
Or like, you know, shortly after, but no.
But he lived certainly long enough that there would have been video of that somewhere.
Yeah, that's
Unless
that's
it was a high school gym, but
Right.
we'll get into that later. Yeah, Jim Cornette said the Sheik had an aura to him. He mentions a show in Detroit in 1988 where Sheik came out in a limo during a match and the fans went crazy for him. They stopped watching the match that was going on in the ring. Which,
That's amazing.
right. I mean, that's obvious. Someone comes out in a limo, you're going to be paying attention to that.
Yeah.
But Sabu said even people who thought wrestling was bullshit, they knew he wasn't. Speaking of the whole, never breaking kayfabe thing. I mean, he was more into it than The Undertaker. The Undertaker's just Mark now. The Undertaker's like on NXT every other week, and he's just Mark.
Yes.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Well, he's
Well, no,
made-
they don't call him Mark, but like he's just in clothes. He's just in a flannel, and he's just like, hey, LFG, this whatever, whenever the fucking that show airs, and they're promoting
talks about
LFG.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they have other wrestlers on there, but
He's just Mark.
Sheik took it. I mean, that's what he looks like. It's like, oh, who's that? Oh, that's Mark. That's just Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So RVD said there are so many characters influenced by something he did. They show the Iron Sheik out as an example. They show Sheik using a fireball and then Kane using a fireball. They show him with the snake, and then they show Jake Roberts with the snake.
At some point, they show, I guess, Hogan's going to try to light a fireball in Warrior's face in WCW. And he just misses.
Yeah. That was-
and Warrior just no sells. He's like, all right, here we go.
They showed that clip?
They did.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the worst
It was
use
really fast, yeah.
of a fireball. We've reviewed that match already a couple years ago. And we will again in like a year or two or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, Cornette said early on Sheik brought a slave girl to the ring with him that he would slap around, but it was his wife.
Which was legal
His
back
real
then.
wife,
I'm sure
yeah.
he laid into it.
Right.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Randy Savage was watching the Sheik back in the 60s, was like, ooh, it's a good idea. Yeah.
He gets so much heat by slapping a bitch around.
Yeah.
I already do that in my regular life.
They also talked about how Sheik was a deathmatch wrestler using all kinds of weapons like chairs, tables, pens, pencils. And then, hey, Abdullah the Butcher. Welcome back to the show. Boy, has he lost weight. Probably just from slowly dying. Yeah. He looks better than when we saw him
Oh,
the
my
first
God.
season of Dark Side
For
of the Ring.
sure. For sure.
But that's probably not necessarily a good thing.
And he was the, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do the match.
Right. He talks about stabbing Sheik with his fucking fork, and then when he introduces himself, he's got the fork in his mouth, always doing the gimmick, just terrible. The promoters would say that the Sheik's fireball was magic, and the fans bought it like, oh, those damn Arabs, damn it, those
Them and their
motherfuckers, them and their magic.
Think about like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, the Arab guy that you have to fight at one point.
Yeah.
He's got magic.
Right.
It was just
That's
a
true.
thing back then. They just thought they were all about magic
Hey, the Arabian, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Look at where did Aladdin take place?
in the clouds. I
The
can
magic
show you
genies.
the world.
People thought it was real.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't say that. Like he was going to tease bringing his genie to a show or something. They're like,
course.
oh no.
Rubs a lamp, little smoke.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
Then Abdullah showed a scar on his chest that he claimed was from a fireball, but I'm sure he just like fell in the shower and broke the glass.
Sure.
I'm sure that's what that was.
Drunk, passed out. Who was this from? I'll just say fireball.
He's like, I would have gone blind if I didn't move my face out of the way at the right time. It's like, sure, Butcher.
Yeah.
Cornette says people claim the Sheik was the originator of hardcore wrestling, but then he mentions Bull Curry was doing it in the 40s, but Sheik made it more mainstream. And was it Bull Curry or was it Eugene Levy? I don't know.
Holy
I'm
shit.
trying to. I mean, my God.
I was hoping you would bring this up.
Joe and I are Italian and have bushy eyebrows, but Jesus.
This fucking guy.
I am the man.
Guy's eyebrows have eyebrows. I guess we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all. Holy shit.
Wow.
That
Look
is
at that
insane.
Guy. Look at that guy.
Bull Curry, I'd love an episode on him. It's just on his eyebrows.
They
Like,
did
how did he do
hardcore
it?
stuff. They never did like a shave his eyebrows match.
No, I guess
That's
not.
insane.
Yeah. So Sheik or Ed Farrett was born and raised in Detroit. Wrestling manager Dave Brzezinski said Sheik lied about his age to join the army, and there he did some boxing and wrestling. After the Army, Ed met promoter Burt Ruby, and the two of them developed the character of the Sheik. But yeah, how about that? I mean, he was born in Detroit, and he's this, Sheik guy.
Right.
Where it's crazy.
Hey, go run with it.
Yeah,
It's always funny when I tell people I'm Italian, like, oh, wow, your parents or grandparents from Italy? I'm just like, no. we came long before the rush in the, what was it, the 40s?
Yeah.
When all the Italians came? Yeah, we were here long before that.
right. Cornette mentioned that Sheik took kayfabe so seriously that he started removing proof of who he really was. If you called the house and asked for Ed, he would hang up on you. Sabu said we'd have the wrestlers over for dinner and the heels would sit at one table, the good guys would sit at the other.
Awesome.
He said he was kayfabing even when it wasn't necessary.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you still had the baby faces over.
Right.
Like, they're still in your house.
Would you have a brawl when they walked out the door?
They would have to end every dinner with a fight.
Hey, all right, have a good night. I have to punch you as you're leaving my house just in case there's a fan outside walking his dog.
Right. Every dinner, Sheik would have to, every wrestler dinner, he'd have to go to this, Home Depot and buy tables just to break for dinner.
All right, guys, dinner at 7. Battle Royale at 7:30.
Clear the table so I can put you through it.
Right. RVD said when Sheik would go eat at a restaurant, when the waiter would come by, he would only speak in Arabic.
Sure.
This guy's crazy. And then, they get into the fans attacking them at shows. Sabu said he saw his uncle cut a fan with his knife backstage.
What?
Yeah. And then Cornette said a guy pulled a gun on him in Amarillo, Texas. That sounds about right. But the gun jammed and police grabbed him. And then he said when the cop checked the gun, it fired backstage.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Again, who knows if I'm sure we've heard plenty of stories of old wrestlers being attacked by fans.
Cop's like, this gun is jammed. Let me look inside it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've heard plenty of stories of old
course.
wrestlers being attacked by fans, Jake Roberts has a great one of an old grandma stabbing him. It's fucking crazy. And then they became friends.
Yeah, of course.
Fantastic.
But yeah, he mentioned when the cops would arrest the guy, they'd be like, well, why is he all cut up? And they're like, oh, he fell through a plate glass window as we were separating everyone. That was always she fell down the stairs thing, but for wrestling fans.
Before cameras and little security and stuff, it's you can tell them anything.
Yeah.
So the plate glass carved a Z in his chest?
Let me see. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, sure did.
Hell of a thing.
Z for Sheik. But I mean, fuck that. You deserve it if you're going to attack somebody.
Sure.
Yeah, of
We've
course.
seen plenty of fans even, recently run into the ring. They get their asses kicked. Yeah. That's what you get. So then in 1964, we go back a ways. The Sheik bought Detroit's Big Time Wrestling. But to keep kayfabe, he made his father-in-law the figurehead promoter.
Yeah.
But really, he was running,
Of course.
everything behind the scenes. They said he outdrew the Detroit Pistons in the Cobo Arena.
Yeah. What was this? The 60s?
60s.
Basketball was
Sure.
pretty shit back
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
And so were the Pistons, right?
Until Bird and Magic, no one watched basketball.
Yeah.
Cornette said back then everyone paid in cash, so who knows what he really made. And then I don't know how he knows this. Maybe someone wrote a book or something. But in 1973, Sheik reported income of $400,000, which is the equivalent of over $2 million today. And then Cornette says, and that's what he reported.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, this
If
guy
it's
was
all
making
cash,
bank.
why even report that much?
Right?
But
Yeah, seriously.
he was doing well.
Yeah, he built a mansion with an indoor pool. Sabu said it was 4 stories, but then they showed the house and it was 2.
No, it
But
was
still
like
big.
Rob Van Dam was 35 rooms.
Yeah.
You're like this kayfabe gets crazy.
Right, yeah.
That's on Palm Royale, right? In
Yeah.
Sugarland, where these houses are ridiculous.
Ginormous.
And we've seen them for years.
Yeah.
I don't know, 10 rooms? And they're
Right.
ridiculous. You couldn't even
Maybe.
see those many rooms. 35 rooms. It's just ridiculous.
There was someone had photos of the whole mansion because I guess maybe you could tour there now, but
Right.
there's photos and it's still big, but yeah, I don't think it certainly wasn't 35 rooms and 4 stories.
Yeah.
But they said they had an indoor pool, so obviously
That's nice.
they were doing well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they said he spent money like crazy, always wore expensive suits. Abdullah was like, you have to look the part. You're an entertainer, right? And then Dory Funk Jr. said he was a fabulous businessman, but I'm going to tell the honest truth.
Uh-oh.
He had one weakness.
Here it is.
Gambling all of his money he had. Las Vegas would wipe him out.
It's just, I just don't get it.
Everyone's got some vice, obviously.
The mentality of, okay, this time
Yeah.
This time.
is different. I get like a trip. You go, you have fun, you gamble a little bit. Maybe you win, maybe you lose. There's parties, there's shows. But to be so addicted to constantly doing it when you don't ever win,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everyone's got their addictions.
Yeah, I
This
guess.
part-
For me,
Parlay's
it's,
the
for
one.
me, it's I'll just have one Oreo, and then when I'm thinking about it, contemplating, I'm like, maybe I should have some Oreos, maybe some cookies today. And, sometimes you can't fight it. Sometimes the addiction wins.
Yeah.
So then Dave Brzezinski talked about how in the South, the arenas were segregated. The South was segregated, but in the arenas, they were separated with the black people were put in the upper tiers with like chicken wire in front of them.
That's crazy.
And he said one night the SHEIK climbed up to the second tier and tore the chicken wire down and invited the black people to the floor. That all sounds great and nice, but what did the white people the racist white people on the floor do?
Right.
I imagine the guy that pulled the gun on SHEIK in Amarillo, Texas, pulled his gun out again that night.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, not just that. Also, you're a bad guy
yeah,
and you live the gimmick.
Right.
But you're like, hey, come down and share in
Yeah.
this wonderful thing that we're doing.
right. So Cornette said the SHEIK rarely did a job. And then in 1967, Detroit had riots after police raided an African-American bar. And the SHEIK's number one babyface was a black man named Bobo Brazil.
Bobo.
And SHEIK lost to him for the belt. And they said the whole city bonded over this moment that the riots died down. So I Googled. I went to Google. I Googled what stopped the Detroit riots.
There's
and
no way.
You wouldn't believe it.
There's no way.
There's no mention of the SHEIK losing to Bobo Brazil. There's no mention of that.
That can't be.
Of course not.
That-
I'm sure that the people in that arena, what they said, that they would get 12,000 for a big show. I'm sure they all bonded in that moment. Did it end the riots? Probably not.
No.
12,000 people. Detroit has millions, right? Or something like that. Hundreds of thousands at least.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. In the 60s, right?
Little known fact, Hogan beating the SHEIK for the title ended the Cold War.
Yeah, that's right. It sure is. Sure did.
But then Cornette's like, yeah, so he jobbed to Bobo Brazil. But of course, SHEIK beat him 2 weeks later and won it back.
Yeah.
He didn't do many jobs.
But like, if he was always the bad guy, right?
Supposedly,
And he was
yeah.
always in the main event.
Right.
So you leave every show, the bad guy wins.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. I mean, Cornette talks about this next. Business gets bad in the mid-'70s. Cornette says if you have a hot heel that can't be stopped, everybody wants somebody to stop him. But if it goes on for so long that the people become convinced that nobody can stop him, then they'll stop coming to see someone try.
Of course.
And WWE almost went there with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
But they finally beat him.
Yeah.
Finally beat him at last year's WrestleMania. If he would have won there, that probably was the breaking point. It certainly was for Joe the year before when Roman retained. I mean, everyone was pissed. But
Just
like,
didn't make any sense.
2024, they definitely had to do it. And thankfully they did. But now someone's got to beat. Well, someone did beat Cody and now Cena's. Whatever. That's a whole other thing, obviously.
That's wrestling.
Then Dave Brzezinski, he also blamed the economy for not spending the money on wrestling in Detroit. He was like, the auto industry was failing at the time. People couldn't spend their extra money on wrestling. And then wrestlers started no-showing the cards because they lost faith in big-time wrestling. And
Yeah.
Brzezinski said SHEIK promised Bruno Sammartino $2,000 for a show, but then he only paid him $800. So Bruno was like, I'm done showing up here.
Not coming next week.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing, like, he couldn't just tell SHEIK, hey, I'm not coming. It was, you screwed me out of money, so now I'm going to screw you and be like, yeah, I'll be there, and then no show.
Yes.
Well,
That's the wrestling
and
business.
it could have been this. It could have been like, hey, I've got your $800. 800.
Yeah.
That's all I can pay you. You coming next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
Right.
So after Big Time Wrestling, SHEIK went to Japan and quickly became a big star there. But after a few years, SHEIK couldn't keep up due to his age and stopped being booked there. And he also wasn't booked in the U.S. because of his age and the bridges that he had burned, which I guess is just from in the end, not paying the wrestlers. Like, that's all they really said. I don't know if he was hated for other reasons there, but that's all they mentioned on the show. And then Sabu said his uncle had to sell the mansion due to money woes, and well past his prime, SHEIK would take any booking to pay the bills, including wrestling in high school gyms for just a few hundred people. But at this point, he's in his 50s and 60s. And back then, like 50s and 60s was 50s and 60s.
Kids, save your money.
Yeah.
When you're at the top, just put money away.
Right.
That's what it tells you, because you just don't know how long you're going to be up there for.
Yeah, I mean, he just looked like an old grandpa, just barely being able to move. And then Sabu mentions how his parents got divorced, and SHEIK would beat up Sabu's dad for hitting Sabu's mom, who was SHEIK's sister. And he said one day his uncle showed up, and my dad hid under the bed to hide from him.
That's awesome.
It's so great.
Yeah, of course. You're going to hit my sister.
Right. And then Sabu mentions how he wanted to be like his uncle. He talks about how he was at a party when he was 19 and a shooting took place. Sabu says he tackled the shooter, but the shooter shot him in the mouth and shattered some of his teeth. And that's when he decided, I need to be a wrestler.
I thought he hit him with the gun or something.
No, he got shot.
He got shot.
He got shot.
He got
Yeah.
shot
In the mouth.
in the face.
Yeah.
Sabu.
Yeah. Seems unbelievable, huh?
And just lost a couple teeth. Like some guys have all the luck, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's certainly been cases of people being shot in the head and living through it, so it could have been one of those cases, right?
You grow hair, you can't see that anymore. Sabu didn't have a deformed, like... I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Again, these are stories.
Yeah.
We don't know how. It could have been shot near him that I could shatter teeth. You never know, like if it happened close by.
Maybe
or
it's
something.
a powerful BB gun.
Could be.
Those airsoft guns are pretty powerful as well.
Not as soft as you think.
No. Then SHEIK trained Sabu at his house and told him, like, you're going to be here for a year and don't bitch when it hurts. I immediately thought of Kill Bill. When, like, Bill drops off the bride to go with Pai Mei. And she's like, when will I, how long will I be here? And he's like, no, she says, when will I see you again? He's like, hard to say, but no back talk, at least for the first year or so. It was like, Jesus.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, he says for the first 7 months, Sabu would do chores like chopping wood, wash his car, clean the house, even when it wasn't dirty. And then he said every day he would set up the ring and take it down, but never get in it. They certainly taught him discipline, I guess.
Some Mr. Miyagi shit.
Right. And then Sabu, of course, dressed like his uncle, but he said, I never copied him, but he influenced me quite a bit. And Cornette talks about how Sabu was obviously way more athletic with, he was like, I don't think SHEIK ever went to the top rope in his 50 years of wrestling. SHEIK also trained RVD. And Rob Van Dam talks about his first lesson from the SHEIK was just being choked by him.
That's it.
Like choked for real, I guess, and him trying to gouge out his eyes. I don't know. It was
If you
crazy.
don't die, you'll be a wrestler.
Yeah. Right.
What?
I think it was it Undertaker or Hulk Hogan who, like, their first day in wrestling, like, whoever trained them just broke their leg. Like, there you go. There's your first lesson.
Hogan.
Hogan, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Hogan. Yeah.
All right, first lesson, broken leg.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
I don't know what I learned.
What did I learn?
I learned you're an asshole.
Yeah. RVD said we would train for hours and then be by the pool. His wife would make us dinner. He's like, yeah, it made me part of the family.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then SHEIK went back to Japan for a comeback in the 90s, late 60s at this point.
Unbelievable.
SHEIK and Sabu wrestled together one night with barbed wire for ropes, and some part of the ropes were wrapped in linen and set on fire.
Yeah.
AKA a fire match.
Yeah.
This is what they call it.
And then they burned down Japan.
Pretty much.
That's what it looked like.
Fire was so big, so hot, there was not much oxygen. The ring started melting. They rolled out of the ring, but SHEIK was stuck in there for a little longer with another Japanese wrestler. And then Sabu was throwing water on his uncle, but SHEIK was upset because he still wanted to do his fucking fireball. It's like, you're on fire.
Yeah.
You are.
Right.
I still got a spot.
And then when he got on the plane to get home, other people in first class were disgusted because his skin was still burning and they
my
could
God.
smell it.
Gross.
Very gross. Yeah. Then in 95, Sabu brought the SHEIK out with him for a WCW pay-per-view that we reviewed, less than a year ago. And Sabu hit a springboard moonsault to Mr. JL, Jerry Lynn, and Jerry Lynn fell back, and you could see it in the video. Jerry Lynn falls back onto Sheik's leg, like snapping it in half, basically. So he broke Sheik's leg in the process, but the Sheik still got up. I still got up.
It couldn't have
and
been-
lit my fireball.
It had to have been a fracture, right? Because he put weight on it.
Yeah, he did.
Or he's just that guy.
Right. Either way,
Wow.
yeah, fracture, whatever. But yeah, he still threw his fireball, which was like, I think we laughed about it at the time because it was after the match.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, Sabu wins, fireball. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Liger.
Yeah. And then Sabu said he was happy when his uncle finally told him he was going to retire, obviously.
Yeah.
They said he focused on his family after retirement. That's nice. He got 5 years left or whatever.
Yeah,
but his granddaughter, this was my favorite part of the episode. He had a lot of family on this episode, multiple granddaughters, grandsons, but one of his granddaughters told the story of him visiting her for Grandparents' Day.
Yes.
When she was in the 2nd grade, and he shows up as the Sheik, like in all of his gimmicks, his costume, and was screaming, Allah!
He goes up to the principal. I'm
Yeah.
here for my appearance fee.
Right?
Come on, I did the thing. What do you?
Yeah.
Come on, give me a pen.
And I'll do a fireball for another 1,000. You want me to fireball the children?
You want me to fire them? Any like little fuckers are been
Yeah.
pissing you off?
So, sir, what did you do for a living before you... Allah! Oh, that's great. Can I have your autograph?
Yeah.
She said the other grandparents were there asking him for autographs.
Sure.
Amazing. Then late in life, Sheik suffered from cancer and organ failure, and he died of heart failure, specifically on January 18th, 2003. Sabu said, Sabu was he was in Japan for a show, and Goldberg told him backstage that his uncle died, and he then called his aunt. Sabu's aunt told him, he'd want you to go do your job, so go finish the match. And then Sabu was like, yeah, I was there for the funeral. I was a little late, but he said the funeral's just to show the people who are still alive that you cared. The people who died know you cared.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then that Dave Brzezinski guy said even the priest referred to him as the Sheik at the funeral.
Of course.
Maybe he was worried if he called him Ed, then
This
Sheik
is-
would pop out of the casket and start choking him.
This is how they know you.
Yeah, right. So it's pretty crazy. And then they showed that Sabu and RVD inducted the Sheik into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2007, just a couple years after the Iron Sheik was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
And I mean, did he ever appear on WWE television?
They didn't mention it, so I assumed
It's weird, right?
not. Yeah, I don't know. That's something we could find out quickly. But yeah, also, of course, R.I.P. Sabu,
Yeah.
Yeah.
who just passed away recently.
Just happened.
That's
Yeah.
young too. What was he? 60?
Yeah, 60.
Yeah.
But again, he's still wrestling. He did that fucking death match with Joey Janela. So that was nuts. But yeah, I think even he at one point said he wanted to die in the ring. And I mean, he got pretty close. Worldwide Wrestling Federation. So yeah, it looks like he appeared in the WWF in the 60s.
Yeah, I get it. When they're all kind of just trading people and stuff, and yeah.
So he just made appearances, I'm sure. And once Vince Jr. took over, he was like, well, I could do my own Iron Sheik and pay him less because that guy's a fucking mark.
Yeah.
So yeah, R.I.P. Sheik and R.I.P. Sabu, another episode. I liked it.
Yeah.
Learned a lot.
This guy was fucking wild. I think one of the clips of all of the crazy shit he was doing, I could have sworn one part he was just fucking sticking a knife in some dude's arm.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Right. Pretty
Wild
crazy.
shit.
But I mean, it was nice that he was, his family liked him. I'm sure he missed a lot of stuff, but it wasn't a situation where he was,
Just a
abusing
piece of shit,
people
yeah.
and, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Because you always assume, especially the older wrestler, the older they are, the longer it's been, usually they were bad people.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
how it works. But
Absolutely.
good episode. R.I.P. to both men. Now we can get to the news and rumors, a.k.a. the Hollywood hogwash. So a new Superman trailer dropped last week. Let's check it out right now.
Oh, yeah.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah,
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
sure.
Why not?
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Oh, the change there.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some
it's a
might.
lot of
It's
fire,
a lot.
In the original trailer,
Today,
he
the Secretary
blinked,
of Defense
and
said
they
he was
took
gonna
away the
look into
blinking.
your actions. That's funny.
Rick Flag
My
Sr.
actions?
Yep.
I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
Does that mean Lex is president? The
I
fact that
would
they
question
showed him
myself
when
in
she
the same
said
situation
president?
and
No.
consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
Oh, the music.
It just never dies. It always goes
buddy.
with every movie. You know
Eyes
what I
up
mean?
here.
Your choices,
Yeah.
your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it.
So much
Somehow
going on in
become
this
the focal
movie.
point of the entire world's
much.
conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
Damn. Nice. Wow.
You have a dog?
James Gunn certainly loves his animals, doesn't he?
God, this
Yeah.
looks so fucking good.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
like
lot.
it.
There's a lot going on.
Oh yeah,
in
this
this.
is gonna be like 3 hours, maybe
That's what I'm thinking.
at least 2:30.
Do we have a runtime yet on this?
No, we don't. No, they're still editing it. I'm sure, figuring out exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably at like 5 hours right now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
All right, guys, we got to take several scenes out of this movie.
Right.
You have monsters, look like portals.
Yeah.
You have like a Justice League, but they're not the Justice League.
Yeah, right. At least not yet, right? Probably by the end of the film they form it.
And
Because then in the Peacemaker trailer we see that they're interviewing Peacemaker to be part of the Justice League.
right.
So, and it's cool. We got Rick Flag Sr. here real quick, and he's also in the Peacemaker trailer. So
Yes.
they're starting to intertwine. So that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, according to this, there are so many different villains that like people think. I mean, obviously they don't know until we see them, but the Engineer, Hammer of Boravia. Do you know about any of these?
Yeah, sure.
Ultraman is the one who looked like
He's the one in black with the big U.
The
on
Black
his chest.
Noir?
Yep.
yeah, that like slams his head into the ground. So he's
Yep.
obviously super. Is he a
Yes.
clone of Superman?
He's
Ultraman?
like an alternate Superman. Yeah.
So
one of
and then
those.
Metamorpho was the guy that had the little fingers.
Oh, okay.
He's like that could be a whole movie by itself.
Sure.
So I wonder how many other Justice League people we get to, maybe
Meet.
get introduced to.
I know,
in this
like
movie.
I know, like I'm already thinking ahead. Like
And you-
like a mid-credit scene maybe is like they reveal who Batman is. Like if they were able to keep it under wraps, and then it's like, look who's Batman.
There's no chance that we have seen everybody that's going to be in this movie already in
Probably
this
not.
trailer. There's for sure there's going to be at least one surprise.
You
Yeah.
got to go Marvel with this new reboot, right? And of
course.
this is a complete everyone's new reboot.
Yeah.
Like this is movie one of this new world, right?
Yeah, like technically Creature Commandos kicked it off, but you know.
Yeah.
Movie one, yes.
Movie one. So I think that it would be hard to not reveal Batman because they want to sell the world on this new
That's what I mean,
Batman.
like a mid-credits.
That would be cool.
He has to be there.
It can't be
because-
about Batman though. You can't have. I don't think Batman's going to be in the film. He'll be mid credits if they do that.
Batman has to be there because James Gunn knows what he's up against. He knows people are like, okay, what the fuck's going on now? There was the DC universe, and now there's another DC universe, and they're all gone. What is this bullshit? He knows he's got an uphill battle. You've got to have Batman in this. It's got to be a home run out of the gate.
I don't
In
know
the
about
film?
that. In the first movie?
No way.
No, I didn't say in the film. I said he's got to show up. It's going to be mid credits, but
Okay.
but from the start to the end of the mid credits and end credits, somewhere there's got to be Batman.
But they could do the Marvel thing where they just show like a Batman symbol and not, you know.
Yeah.
like-
It could be that too.
In
Yes.
Creature Commandos, do they mention Batman?
They do not.
Do they mention Superman?
I think they loosely mentioned it. I'm trying to remember.
I'm just curious because, like, if he exists, you know, this is a whole new universe, right?
I'm trying to remember now because I don't think there was much about the Justice League or anything in Creature Commandos.
And also, like, Peacemaker was in the, you know, DCEU because obviously James Gunn got there early and did that. But then in the Peacemaker trailer, we see two Peacemakers. So it's like they're obviously going to get into that whole deal.
Interesting, yeah.
You know, but
Right.
I mean, it looks great. I love how colorful it is. You know, if what's his name, Nicholas Hoult, he looks great as Lex
Great
Luthor.
actor.
It looks like they're making him younger than he even is. You know, like he's supposed to be like a even younger version of Lex Luthor.
How old is
than-
he?
I don't know, 40.
Is he already?
He's
Or
got
is
to
that
be.
just
He's
an
been around for
X-Men?
so long.
Is that just an X-Men thing that we've...
Let's see. He's 35, but he looks like he's in his early 20s there.
I don't know
which
about that.
He could pull off. I mean, he doesn't have any signs of aging at all there.
That's called Hollywood.
Yeah, right. But if they want you to be a certain age, they put this much makeup on you, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming we can all say that this is the Superman movie we've most been looking forward to in our whole lives so far. I was interested in the Cavill one. I ended up liking it a lot, but I didn't know I was going to like it a lot going into it. I
Yeah.
was looking forward to the what was it, the Brandon Routh one, because it was like, oh, he looks and talks like Christopher Reeve, but
Yeah.
that ended up being
That
a
was
piece of
terrible,
shit.
other than Kevin Spacey.
That was
but
terrible. But this one, I've never been this excited for a Superman movie going in.
yeah, I mean, they're going back. It looks uplifting, which is what a Superman movie should be, versus the Snyder, where everything's sad and depressing. So that's nice.
A hard right turn from.
And
what
they
we've-
brought the music, the original music back, so that's nice.
Yep.
Nice touch.
That was a smart move. Like Marvel doesn't have the trademark on bright and colorful, and
Yeah.
like we can do this too.
Colorful's amazing. Like that's I hate these dark versions of movies. You can't see anything. Like I love the color. Love the color.
That's
Yes.
one criticism on Marvel, is that everything's gray. Every movie is gray except for the James Gunn movies.
Right.
Like the Guardians, the three Guardians movies are very. I like his style. I like how his movies look.
Yep.
That comes out in July, just a couple weeks before Fantastic Four. So that's going to get interesting because if Superman does well, it can help Fantastic Four or hurt it,
Right.
depending on how it goes. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Also, moving on, Prime Video released a 20-second teaser for Spider Noir, which is starring Nicolas Cage. Let's check this out real quick.
Have you seen it out there?
Oh, Spider.
The city's a mess.
Spider-Man.
The people could use a hero. I hope they find someone.
Nice.
Very nice.
Just a little quick. All right. So
There's-
it's black and white, which I guess,
2026.
that was expected, black and white.
There's
but
a longer version out. I saw today. It's about a minute and a half or so.
That's fake.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
Is it Christopher? Is it Nicolas Cage going? Ah!
No.
Is it the guy from Rescue Me talking? The old chief?
It was.
That's the fake one.
Shit. Okay.
They used the part
This
in the
just came out.
Batman where they're shooting his chest
Yeah.
in that fake trailer. Yeah, I
right.
saw it too.
All right. I'm a mark.
You're a mark.
They got me.
Congratulations.
They got
you.
me.
You fucking mark!
They
But
got
this-
It was very well done. I will say that.
But
it was.
this still looked good though.
Yeah.
And this is all from like one little short comic series that got popularity from Multiverse, the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I think
Cartoons.
that's why. Yeah, because of Spider-Verse. Which apparently I think he's going to be like that same character because
Sure.
again, he voiced the character in the cartoon.
Yeah.
But like, look, I don't know much about Spider Noir, but it certainly seems like he operates more like Batman, you know, hiding in the shadows,
Yeah.
sneaking up on criminals. I'm excited, obviously. We need this Nicolas Cage resurgence, which I have other Cage stuff later that we're
I hope
gonna,
this is it. But yeah, 8 episodes looks like is the first season.
Yeah.
I would love a Nick Cage renaissance right now.
Oh, yeah.
The world needs it.
Please, God.
For sure. Then the last trailer, Nobody 2. They released a trailer for Nobody 2. I watched half of it, and then I turned it off because I was having so much fun.
Yes.
Like, I wanted to get my...
When did this come out?
Just very recently.
Okay. I don't think
Yeah.
I saw this.
So, let's watch.
I've come to terms with the fact that you don't have an average job.
You guys having fun at the convention?
I love that.
But we
Everyone
haven't
loves a
seen
good
you in
elevator
months.
fight scene.
What happened to your eye?
Somebody found me at the game.
What game?
The one you missed.
And summer break's just a few days away.
We should do something. Strictly family time.
Come on, kids. It can be an adventure.
It's like National
Vacation.
Lampoon's Vacation.
Was that Christopher Lloyd?
Yeah. He's back. Oh, shit.
We all together.
Hey, city boy.
Hey,
Get out of here. Let's go right now.
Oh, you motherfucker.
To your sister, but there are other ways to handle things. I left my phone.
I like your way better.
I like your way better. Awesome. Bam! Fuck you.
What the hell, Hutch? On our first day?
Colin Hanks.
Yeah.
I think I stumbled into something.
You're vacationing in an old bootlegging route. Full of drugs, crooked cops.
Of course he is.
And one woman who controls it all. You didn't take your
Sharon
family
Stone?
back, did you?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
You'll want to de-escalate the situation.
De-escalate. No escalating. Guys, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm here on vacation.
Bye.
Yeah.
Find this nobody. Scorched earth.
I just want a break.
There's no way you were just some family man.
In a
We all have
maze.
different sides.
A mirror maze.
But most of all, you're a dad. Go fix this shit.
I told you.
I'm on fucking vacation!
That's awesome. The photos.
That looks incredible.
Look, the Superman trailer, Spider Noir, they look great, right? But they did not look as good as this.
Do you want to go to the movies and just have a good time?
Oh, yeah.
Like
It's not-
back in the old days.
It's not that hard, Hollywood. Give us this.
It's true.
I like how they've made him kind of the equalizer now. Like that's
Yeah.
his role now. Like,
Yes.
oh, I just happen to be in a town that's corrupt.
Right.
And I'm here. So I'll fix things.
Yeah.
You could do 100 of these like this.
Of course.
Yes.
This is what we need to hold this over until the next John Wick.
Yeah, right.
You know?
If only Odenkirk was like 15 years younger so he could get a few more of these in.
I think
yeah,
he'll last for a while.
Yeah. The stunts, they have stunt men to do the shit he can't do, obviously. Right. So,
he's perfect.
God, yeah, he really is. I just love that he's still doing stuff because, like, after Saul, he had another show on AMC that I tried watching, and that he wrote, and it just didn't hold my interest, unfortunately. But this is, oh God, it makes me want to watch the first one again, which I guess I'm going to do soon.
Probably should this summer.
Yeah, this comes out in August, I think they said.
Gotta need that backstory.
Yeah.
For nobody too.
Right.
Yeah, he his first time I ever saw him was on the Ben Stiller show, which was probably before.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I was young when that came out.
Right.
And I remember just loving it, and they got canceled by Fox.
Yeah.
And they won the Emmy that year.
It's crazy.
And Ben Stiller's like, we were right. And like that cast was insane, and like all the different writers like Odenkirk, people like him. Like,
and then him and that other guy did Mr. Show.
Mr. Show.
Which I've seen clips of that, and it's so good.
David Cross, I think.
David Cross, yeah.
Oh,
Which
insane.
The pre-taped call-in show might be the best sketch of all time. Better than anything SNL's ever done.
It's perfect.
It's so great.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I love
perfect.
it. Also, moving on, they released a trailer for Brad Pitt's F1 film. And I'm not going to show it just because I know there's not a lot of racing fans, and we've already watched 3 trailers, but it's basically Rocky 6. Like a once great racer comes out of retirement, but can he keep up with the young athletes? Like it looks
You're
awesome.
driving.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I had zero interest in this movie going into the trailer.
Yeah.
I want to see it now.
The trailer is awesome.
It is.
I mean, it's action-packed. Cars are just wrecking and everything. So,
and
it's Brad Pitt. That helps.
If it was anybody but Brad Pitt, I'd be less excited. But
I know.
He looks like he's just
he's one of the few guys that are still around that's just like, hey, I'm in a movie and you're gonna watch it because I'm in it.
Yep.
That's
goddamn right.
Like he's one of the few people that just hasn't done a Marvel DC film. Probably because I imagine he's against it. But still, it's like, hey, F1. I don't know, the 7th most popular sport in America, but you're going to go see it.
He showed up in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, for a little, that's true.
Remember?
For a very, very 2-second cameo, but yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it was Deadpool, but yeah, that. I guess he is technically a Marvel hero. You're right.
That's right.
It's true.
Thank you for your sacrifice, Mr. Invisible. But no,
the
you
Vanisher.
Yeah, you got to check this out. It looks really good. I'm excited for another Brad Pitt film. Also, the trailer for Ironheart dropped last week, and like most Marvel shows on Disney Plus, it looks really bad. This takes place after Black Panther 2, and it's about her wanting to build an Iron Man suit. But did you guys see Black Panther 2?
I did, and I was shocked by how well she built an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, so she already
won the day.
She already did it.
Yeah.
And this show is, I want to build something iconic.
It's got to be a prequel.
Well, this guy did. It's not. Mm-hmm. I want to build something iconic. It's like, well, there's this guy, Tony. He did it like so much, long ago than you. Like, yeah, he already did it.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dialogue, it's just that shitty Marvel dialogue. You just bit off more than you could chew. I can chew a lot.
Jesus.
No one's going to watch this. And they're going to make every excuse in the fucking book as to why people didn't watch it. You know they're going to do it. The actress who plays Ironheart isn't helping. I don't know why. Like, how are they not coaching these actors for the interviews? Because we saw it with... what was it recently? Oh, the Snow White one, where she's just like, her interviews were so terrible.
Yep.
The actress who plays Ironheart here did an interview saying, her character's dumpster diving, whereas Tony Stark was a bajillionaire. And it was like, he built the first one in a cave.
In a cave.
With a bunch of scraps, as what's-his-face said. So it's like, yeah, like that wasn't, he was a genius. That's why he was able to do it.
Right.
So it's just weird. Like, don't shit on Tony Stark, who everyone loves.
It's so stupid.
That's not smart marketing.
Yeah. Right.
I don't understand why Hollywood won't learn the lesson of don't take an iconic male role and then do it with a female and expect it to work. Don't do Ghostbusters, but it's women this time.
Right,
Iron Man, but it's a woman this time. Give us a Rogue movie. Give us a Storm movie.
Exactly.
There are existing female characters that we want to see and we like. that if you get a great actress and make a good script and a good movie, we'll show up and we'll like it and it'll make $1 billion. Just quit trying to shoehorn women into iconic male roles. It doesn't work. It doesn't make money.
Nope. Especially when you do it very, very bad like this. This does not look good. So, no interest in watching it, and don't worry, we won't.
No.
Good.
Also, during Disney's 2025 Upfront presentation last week, Kristen Ritter took the stage to announce that she's reprising her role as Jessica Jones for season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. Oh, a female hero that we're excited to see.
Yes.
How about that?
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the big question is, will they get the rest of the Defenders?
Yeah.
Probably, right?
A couple of them. We started with the Punisher.
Yeah, but if there's 2 left, right? There's Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
You know?
They've got to be talking to the 2 of them at least.
I would love to see Luke Cage and Iron Fist get redemption.
Yes.
Because Luke Cage in the show, he was a cool character, and the actor that, he did it well, but the show just wasn't very good.
If they
and they killed Mahershala Ali, who seemed like the much cooler villain than what we ended up getting. It was like, what the fuck?
Yes.
And no one even knew who Mahershala Ali was at the time. It was like, this guy's fucking awesome. Can you guys write a Blade script that's good enough for this guy to approve, please?
Jesus. If they put Iron Fist in the suit, in the comic suit, if you give Luke Cage a decent villain that's a challenge for him, and put the 4 of them together, yes, I'm all in. I'd love to see that.
Right. Of course.
Boom.
Iron Fist was just all sorts of bad, but if you write it well, you put them in this show, obviously things could be special. And also bring back Elektra. She's so hot. She was great in season 2 of Daredevil.
Oh my God.
And even though she's died a couple times, it's comics. Whatever. The hand brings her back again. Who cares?
Third time's charm.
Exactly.
Yep.
All I see that actress is she's in some show where she's a maid, but she also might be a hit woman. I don't know. I don't know much about it. Desperate Maids or some shit. Also, in an interview with Vanity Fair, Scarlett Johansson called out the Oscars for snubbing Avengers Endgame, saying, how did this film not get nominated for Best Picture? It was an impossible movie that should not have worked. It really works as a film, and it's one of the most successful films of all time.
Right.
Fair point.
So that's kind of, it's a little surprising because the last thing with Marvel and Disney, she was pissed at them. She sued them because they put Black Widow on Disney Plus the same time it came out in theaters.
Yeah,
so it did really bad, and she was like,
and she had a piece of the box office.
Right. So, but who knows? Maybe they'll bring her back too, since it seems like everyone's
That's
coming
business.
back.
She's talking about the art side of it. Obviously, she had a lot of co-stars and the writers, directors. That's who she's promoting here.
But still, to this
she's
day,
100% right.
To this day, only one superhero film was nominated for Best Picture in the Oscars, and that was Black Panther, which came out the same year as Infinity War. Infinity War.
Dark Knight was just Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, and effects and sound and stuff.
Well, they always get that.
Nolan always wins sound and shit, but yeah, the Endgame was nominated for visual effects. I don't even think it won. I think it was just nominated.
If Dark Knight wasn't Batman and they just made it a movie about some guy that was rich that fought people, Best Picture.
Right.
That's a phenomenal film.
Yeah, that's the key to superhero movies is can you write a film and make a film that could stand on its own even if you're not using superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what The Dark Knight was. So also, season 2 of Fallout drops in December of this year, and it's already been renewed for a 3rd season. So looking forward to it. The Fallout 4, which Eric Hamilton told me was the best Fallout game. It was on sale again recently, so I purchased it. And after I finish playing The Last of Us 2, I'm going to finally check out Fallout. I'm excited to play it.
You're playing Last of Us 2 right now?
Yes.
Are you ahead of the show?
Yes and no, because the show goes back. The show is all over the place in terms of the game.
I was going to say, I wouldn't want to play the game if I'm watching the show or vice versa.
Well, but I've already played it.
Oh, this is your second time playing it?
I played it when it came out in 2020. So, yeah. But watching the show again has made me want to play the game. But you are right in a sense that, it has caused a problem because the game is so much better than the story they're telling in the fucking second season.
Well, yeah.
It's It's an up and down season, that's for sure, where it's like half the episode's good and half is just not good.
Yeah.
The Bella Ramsey is just not very good as Ellie.
No.
She could play a child version of Ellie, which she did in season 1, where she's 15, but now she's playing a young adult. It's like, but you still come off as this 15-year-old that's just way too innocent than you should be after living your whole life in, a zombie
apocalypse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
She's way too unlikable to be the show lead.
And when she's doing something where she's like killing someone it just doesn't seem that believable because she just still has this innocent face on her. So, But in the game, like the motion capture and the actress that played her was great, so it's still a lot of fun to play, even if they did do what they did. Also, the streaming service that has The Last of Us, Max.
Oh,
they're rebranding again.
Again?
What's the new name of this?
Oh, you want the new name?
Are we back to
new
HBO?
app?
HBO Max. Yeah.
Why?
Everyone hated it when they changed it to just Max because, it made no sense. Should Disney Plus just be Plus? Hey, did you check out Ironheart on Plus? Makes no fucking sense. HBO had Prestige. It still has Prestige. So why would you take away the HBO part of the streaming service?
This is the most Three Stooges shit I've ever seen.
So look, it's a good thing that they're going back to HBO Max because it does sound better. But like someone said, the whole reason why it was just Max was one executive in charge that was like, this is going to be amazing. And everyone told him like, no, it's not. It's going to suck. But he's like, no, this is going to be amazing. And when we're watching The Studio with Seth Rogen, you can see exactly why something like this happens. Just because one guy in charge is like, this is going to be great. And it's fucking stupid.
So do we go back to the old HBO Max app? Can we just stay on Max? Or do we have to download a third HBO Max app?
That's right, because they did that.
Yeah, they made you get a whole new app.
Oh, God. I would hope they just, your
I
app
still have
updates.
the HBO Max on a couple of my TVs. I'm like, oh, I remember that.
I would hope the app just updates and then it's, But who knows?
Jesus.
Also, Amazon MGM Studios released the first photo of their upcoming Madden film that stars Nicolas Cage as John Madden and Christian Bale as Al Davis. And I can already tell you, I want the Al Davis spinoff movie. I do. Look, Christian Bale looks exactly like Al Davis.
It's insane.
Oh my God. And there's Nick Cage as Madden. I mean, the movie is going to be half about like his, run in Oakland, and the other half is going to be about making the Madden video game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I am surprisingly rock hard for this movie.
Fucking hard.
Rock hard.
Nick Cage is back. With David O. Russell directing it. He's done The Fighter, Silver Linings Playbook, American Hustle.
Hold on. Nick Cage never stopped doing movies and TV shows.
I know, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I would show up just for Bale Al Davis. I would show up for just that.
They need to make the Al Davis film now.
Well, let's hope this is it, right? I hope there's a lot of
Christian Bale might win Best Supporting Actor again for Al Davis.
Oh my
but
God.
we don't know how much Al Davis is in this movie, so he could be in a lot of it.
But again, I think it's going to be non-linear, where they go back and forth.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because obviously they're going to be making the Madden game.
Did they ever say how much John Madden was worth when he died, or how much his estate is worth?
I'm sure.
Like, how
you
much
could
does he
Google
get
it.
per video game?
He made a fuck ton off of that shit. Yeah. John Madden net worth.
Does his estate still get a cut of the gains?
Oh, of course.
They have to.
Whoever got his
200 million, supposedly.
That's still a lot for a guy who didn't play during the hundreds of millions of dollars age and coached, before it became.
Well, it's all the video game, yeah.
Yeah.
Because video games made billions upon billions. 200 millions. That's like, he took a deal. He took a nice deal, I think.
I'd still a lot just to throw his name on it. But
I'm just pissed that they took his voice off the game. They took his voice off when he retired 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's silly.
And it's like, I get it. They want the current voices to be in the game, but the game has also gone so downhill that I don't even play it anymore. And I was in a fucking Madden tournament back in the day.
Right.
But I'm super excited for this. I love David O. Russell's films. Also, some more of the cast. We have John Mulaney as the founder of EA.
Fuck off. Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And also Shane Gillis has joined the cast, but they don't know who he's
My
playing.
God.
Yet.
He's just the voice guy.
Maybe he just plays John Madden like right before he dies. You know, like
Gillis would be the younger version.
just because he doesn't look very healthy. Yeah, I'm very excited for this.
He could play Madden when he was a player, maybe.
Maybe that's it. Who knows? But I'm excited. There's no there's no release date yet, so it's probably like next year.
Yeah.
But I can't fucking wait. Oh my God. The last thing I have is AMC Theaters announced that starting in July, they will be cutting ticket prices by 50%, but only on Wednesdays. So.
Well.
Okay, Eric.
Yeah.
Thanks. That was a good one.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I would take advantage of this. There's a close-ish one, I guess. We have an AMC 20 minutes from us, so maybe.
Look,
It's a ways.
Wednesdays, it's hard, but Wednesday's not even a great day to go to the movies. Obviously,
movies already were expensive. I went to Star Cinema Grill last night.
Yeah,
and $36 for my seats for two seats.
Yeah,
and $104 in food and drink. And we got 2 drinks each. It's not like we got like 6 beers or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's like if movies are for 2 people, if it's gonna be $130 to go to the fucking theater, they're just gonna keep losing. Now again, we had a theater by our house that was big, that closed.
Yeah.
But even it was never cheap to go to the movies.
Right.
Like lately. You know, if I gotta take my kids and everything, and it's just crazy.
Cinemark was one of the cheaper theaters, but even now they just very recently they hiked their prices.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Like the people that are still going to the theaters, like us and whoever, like we're literally like keeping the movie theater business alive just by going, by giving them all this money.
Yeah.
But I rarely get food at theaters anymore just because it's insane. But
right.
Try to eat before or sneak food in. Obviously, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all I've got. So take it away.
Okay, let's see. Thunderbolts. It's just past 300 million worldwide.
Yep.
And that's got to be a bad number for them.
It is. It's very bad.
Yeah, because there was that. I saw the budget was like 180, but you had said something about they needed like 700.
Yeah,
or
marketing
something
is
to 7
to start being profitable.
Because again, 50% of ticket sales. So like the estimated was like 600 million at the least they need to break even, and they're not going to get that.
But even so, they can't have expected more than this for Thunderbolts.
That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense why the budget was so big.
Yeah.
It's not on screen. Whether you like the film or not, whether you liked it or not, and most people did, so I'm in the minority. But like, you know, it's mostly green screen. Like, what is this? What are you spending all this money on exactly?
Yeah,
make a cheap, grounded film.
Right.
Especially with what the movie ended up being. It definitely should have been like half the budget.
Right.
Like they could have made that profitable if it was not going to be a massive set piece, shit going crazy all over the place kind of movie. I guess they had to go a little VFX heavy with all of the void shit and stuff.
I guess. But yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of with that. 28 days later, it's going to get re-released May 21st. If you guys haven't seen this one, it's easy to forget. This was kind of a smaller, more indie kind of thing. It's gotten a little bigger over the years. The sequel's coming out.
Well, that was
pretty soon.
That was a cheap film that made a fuck ton.
It's definitely was. This and the Dawn of the Dead Snyder remake, the two of them together kind of restarted the whole zombie thing.
Very true.
But yeah, it's just a great kind of indie punk rock zombie movie. It's really, really...
They showed the trailer last night for 28 Years Later, the long one. I hadn't seen the long one. And I am so sorry, but that zombie in the movie that just pops up, it's him.
It does look a little
Cillian
like
Murphy,
him, for sure. Yeah,
for sure.
Come on. If it's not, it's like
they already showed who it is, and it's just
It's
what do you mean?
They already showed like the actor that portrayed, like, because people when this trailer first dropped months ago, like people went on a manhunt to find out who the guy was, and they found him.
Yeah, it's just some rando dude.
Why would Cillian Murphy be in it just to play a zombie for 5 seconds?
No, I think they would dress up a guy that looks like him to have him as a zombie. Just to, you don't have to say that's Cillian Murphy. You could be like,
right.
Oh.
But they're also,
It's Mark.
apparently they're trying to get it. Apparently he's going to be in the one after this, so who knows? Yeah.
28 days before?
28 more years later? I don't know.
Yeah, he's dead.
We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
James Gunn, he said he's got some encouraging updates on Wonder Woman appearing in the DCU. He says not to be shared publicly yet. So you have to know that she's going to be playing.
How could she not be in it?
They're building this universe. She's coming.
like what? Like in terms of the Justice League? Yeah, she's of course one of the important members.
I never hated the Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. The first movie was great. The second one was horrible, obviously. But like, I never minded her as Wonder Woman. She's not a great actress, but in a superhero film, you don't have to be. So I hope they don't fuck up this casting again.
Well,
why not
for hers? Yeah.
Why not cast another great, actually very good actress? All actresses look good. You could make them look even better.
Right.
You could give them 6 months. Like, hey, you're gonna be fucking Batman, Ben Affleck. Work the fuck out. And you got ripped, right? Like a girl could do that too. So cast a great actress that could be a great Diana Prince, and slap some Wonder Woman garb.
Well, Hollywood's stuck on you need a beautiful woman. I mean, there's enough pretty women in Hollywood.
That's what I'm saying. But they could find a good actress, pretty woman, right?
Yeah. I mean, when they cast Christian Bale as Bruce, they were like, he's not handsome enough to play Bruce Wayne, but then no one cared.
Who said that? He wasn't that bad. He's not a bad looking guy. Well, Bruce Wayne's got to be like model hot, I guess, is what their thought was.
I guess, yeah. So.
And the last thing I had, there's going to be a Rambo origin story movie.
Yeah.
Did you hear who's directing it, Andrew?
Yes, I did.
Stallone.
Yeah, the director of Sisu.
That's right.
Oh, shit.
That's right.
But again, that's another
Gives you
thing.
hope.
Like you said with the women playing male roles, like this is someone playing Rambo that's not Stallone.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
Sisu.
Maybe.
Sisu.
I'm with Andrew on
looks,
this.
yeah, sure.
Don't reboot a series or do a sequel or a prequel where the main guy is not in it. It's like
How'd you
Rocky.
feel about watching Solo?
Didn't see Solo.
Okay, that's my point. That's my point.
Right, but that was there was already some Star Wars fatigue at that point anyways with the prequel movies coming out and
But
then the sequel movies.
Solo wasn't.
But that was in between the trilogy.
Yeah.
Everyone saw the trilogy. I tried watching Solo. I watched it for 30 minutes. I was so bored, I turned it off.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Yeah.
It finished better than it started, for sure.
They had the return of Darth Maul at the end, and then nothing ever paid off after that because they weren't going to make more of these.
All I'm going to say is you pounded the table on James Gunn taking over the DCU. You said give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
He hasn't given us reason to doubt him yet. Give him the benefit of the doubt until he fucks up.
The Sisu director?
The Sisu director.
What, has he only made Sisu?
Well, he's made tons of shit before that, but that's the only one we've seen.
We'll see.
Yeah, certainly. And to be fair, I told DC to hire James Gunn a year before they did. So you're welcome again. Do you remember that? Like I said it on this podcast. I was like, they need to just give him all the money in the world to be head of DC. And then they fucking did like a year later. It was crazy. Or maybe 6 months. I don't remember.
Thankfully, they listened to this podcast.
Exactly.
And here we are.
Damn straight.
We're changing the world, people.
Yeah.
That's right.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, what are we watching this week? Anything new? Because if we're not watching anything new, then I feel like it's...
The movie I saw last night was Sinners.
Oh, okay. Finally. Yeah, I still want to see that.
And just incredible. Like, it's...
Nice.
Look, it's a vampire movie. But the way they go about it...
No spoilers.
Well, no. I'm just saying, the time was set in 30s Mississippi. So there's a black and white element to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it's just good for history and everything they do about it. A lot of great swerves that you don't see coming and stuff like that. So it's cool. So it's like fun. Just a fun movie. Stick around until after the credits and everything, and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like once we're done with Dark Side, maybe we could do an episode on that one.
Maybe.
Because I want to see it. I'm going to see it at some point.
I don't think it's going anywhere in theaters anytime soon.
Yeah,
I think it's made like $300 million so far.
Yeah, and they just put it back on IMAX, like because it was doing so
Really?
well. Yeah.
Yeah. I was worried it was out of theaters, but it was there. And then again, I'm caught up on the studio. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun.
Did you both see the second episode yet?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's so awesome.
It's incredible.
It's great.
Incredible. I also finally got around to seeing The Amateur, that the Rami Malek movie. Where it's like him getting revenge for his wife. I loved it.
Really?
It was such a fresh take on the revenge movie, but it's this nerdy guy that he's got to set up these crazy traps and do all this cloak and dagger shit.
Revenge movies are fun.
They're just fun, but he was good. He was really likable. You really cared about him.
Right.
Bernthal's in it. Lawrence Fishburne is in it.
Oh, wow.
There were a couple plot points that bothered me a lot that I thought were a little mean-spirited, but overall, I think it's an 8.
Really?
I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
How long is it?
It wasn't
2 hours.
crazy.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
About 2 hours. I really enjoyed it. It was very
Nice.
good.
Yeah, I might go check that out. You saw it in theaters?
Yes.
It's still in theaters, huh?
Like yesterday, actually.
Oh,
Yep.
nice. All right, let's do some fan questions. Jimmy Russell, does anyone on the pod use Letterboxd? I'd love to follow the team and any listeners too to check out your movie ratings, see what you're watching / have watched, and also discover some new films. Thanks for all the great work. I don't think any of us are on Letterboxd. That could be that could be fun though to do.
We don't, but that's a really interesting idea. I like that.
It's funny, back when Netflix was the streaming service and they had Netflix friends.
Yes.
Like we were friends on Netflix, and I remember like you could rate your movies, like 1 star to 5 stars, and that was really fun.
I remember
And then
going in and looking at your movie lists.
Yeah. Right. That was fun. So if Letterboxd is like that, I could definitely get into it. Bill Capri, have any of you seen The Weeknd's Shut Up scene trending lately from the movie Hurry Up Tomorrow? I think he's this year's worst actor in worst movie and needs to just stick to music. Yeah, I saw that he was making some movie where like it's basically about him and how fans are so obsessed with it. I don't know. It just seemed very lame.
I haven't heard anything about this one way or the other.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Not interested.
what to think about it.
I could see him winning a Razzie, sure. Also, KJ, which wrestler is the biggest example of not being able to differentiate real life from wrestling? Ric Flair and SHEIK are both up there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for sure.
Iron Sheik?
Iron Sheik. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot. P.S. The second episode of The Studio was an actual masterpiece, especially for people who understand film terminology. Again, yeah. Go check out The Studio if you haven't. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that whole one-shot episode was beautiful.
Yeah. The Rizzler, I know this miniseries came out 5 years ago, but have you watched Chernobyl? Jesus Christ, was it one of the best I've seen? The accuracy of this series is on point. Imagine this generation being told to sacrifice for the greater good. No chance. This generation of participation trophy winning woke
soft-ass baby shit young adults are as useless as tits on a nun.
Yeah, I did. Jesus. Yeah, I did see Chernobyl. It was a really, really good show. Very, very good.
I gotta check it out, I guess.
Yep.
Omar, I have a Captain America Shield popcorn bucket from AMC. If anyone's interested in buying it, hit me up. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's gonna care at this point.
I got $1.
Like
honestly,
from the movie that came out this year?
I think so. I think so. Probably.
Interesting.
P.S. Keep up the good work, Joe.
Oh.
There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well.
Pop Culture Junkie, let's go back to the theater in 1999. Pick one from each category. Movie, we've got South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, Office Space, and The Matrix. That's pretty easy.
It's The Matrix.
It's The Matrix.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Office Space. Office Space would be number 2.
Yes.
But how are you going to beat The Matrix? It's one of the best movies ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Movie snack. You've got nachos, Sour Patch Kids, or popcorn.
It's popcorn, baby.
I'm a popcorn guy.
Yep.
Andrew got sick of it, of course.
Over
Aaron didn't
nachos?
get sick of it.
Don't get me wrong. I
never really liked popcorn.
In the theater, most theaters have the really shitty nachos with the shitty cheese sauce.
The
if
best-
we're talking just
Sure.
overall nachos, of course.
The best thing about working in a movie theater, and I know PCJ can relate to this, is when you can go back in the concession stand and you can make a fresh batch of popcorn and just hold your little cup or bag or something right up at the machine as it's popping out. It's like nectar from the gods. It's amazing.
Look, I don't hate
I
popcorn.
agree.
It's always been like okay to me. And while I worked at the theater, I certainly didn't like it because you're just smelling it all day. And then there's, you see what happens when it gets old. But like, I would still choose nachos. Even the shitty ones, I would still choose nachos. And then movie drink, soda, white cherry icy, or Fruitopia. For me, it's just soda.
Soda.
Like
Soda.
a Sprite or a.
Coke
root beer
Zero,
or whatever.
Pepsi
Now,
Zero.
if you've got like a Dr. Pepper or a Coke Icy, I'm in.
Oh yeah, that's true. There are some
Star
of those.
Cinema had a Crown Vanilla Icy. Their two choices were Jack or
I've gotten
Crown
that.
Vanilla.
I've had that.
It was
It's-
very good.
Yeah.
It tasted good. It's almost too sweet.
You
though.
don't taste the alcohol.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dangerous.
It's good. Yeah.
Snake Plissken, since you guys are going into summer of 96 on the other pod, what's the best movie of that summer? We've got Independence Day. We've got The Rock. We've got Mission Impossible. And then some other fucking movie that no one cares about.
The
Twister.
original
Twister
Mission Impossible?
The
is on
best movie of
there? Twister, I guess.
Wait, what year was this?
96.
And you just knew that Twister was going to be on this list?
Yeah, of course.
Which was the best?
Independence Day.
Yeah, I mean, that's... The first Mission Impossible was excellent. I mean, Twister's great. It's just on a bad list.
The best movie.
Tough list.
The best
Bad matchup.
movie of
Bad
those is
matchup.
Independence Day. My favorite is Twister.
Yeah. That's fair.
Interesting.
Weird and fair.
Yeah, Independence Day 1, The Rock 2, I guess. I have to see Mission Impossible again in order to rank it.
It was good. Great swerves.
Yeah. The From Undertaker, to answer your question from the Last of Us review about dudes banging zombies. In 2005, a movie called The Stink of Flesh has a scene where a guy bangs the naked female zombie he keeps chained up in a shed. You're welcome.
There's your scene, Andrew.
But was it his wife? See, this is where it gets interesting. Was it
dead
his wife?
Flesh.
Yeah. And also, I looked up this movie. It's like just a piece of shit B movie that someone made for $5 in a camcorder. Like, it looks like garbage, which is right up my alley. So I might check it out. But no, like I talked about it on the Last of Us podcast. I wrote a zombie short film when I was in college, and one of the plot points is the main character keeps his zombie wife in a closet chained up, and he has sex with her.
Look at you.
Because it's a zombie movie. It's supposed to be disturbing. And I was like, what would happen if your wife got bit? You know, like, how much would you want to hold on to that?
She's decaying.
No, but you spray her with the Febreze to keep the wrinkles from, That's the whole point, though, is that it's gross, you know?
Right.
You're supposed to gross stuff in a zombie movie.
Yeah.
DL Punk, did you guys see Josh Reese in American Idol last week singing the song from Lilo and Stitch? No, that's a funny joke. I saw it was just a big fat guy singing a Lilo and Stitch song.
Nice.
What's the last Disney movie you gave a shit about? This is important. Does Pixar count? Because Disney owns Pixar, but usually people go, that's a Pixar movie, not a Disney movie. So, Disney movie, I don't fucking know.
I would not count Pixar.
So Marvel doesn't count?
No.
So what's a Disney movie?
Like Beauty and the Beast.
Just the
all
Disney
those
cartoon.
all those remakes that I don't give a shit about.
Probably Incredibles 1.
Isn't that Pixar? Or is that Disney?
It was Pixar.
It's Pixar, yeah. So I don't know. You
But
need to
they've
give
owned-
us a list.
They've owned Pixar for so long now.
I know, but we literally just said Pixar doesn't count.
All right, yeah, sorry.
Again, that's like saying Disney Marvel, right? Like Marvel doesn't count.
Well, it doesn't have to be animated movies. Wasn't the Rock Jungle Cruise movie was kind of fun.
Oh.
I enjoyed that.
What was Wild Robot? Was that Pixar or was that Disney?
That was not Pixar. I don't even think that was Disney.
Oh, it wasn't Disney. Yeah, well, I like that one. But that doesn't count either. So yeah, I don't know. Seems like Disney's just doing like all the live action remakes. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care about those. I'm here. So apparently in the background of the Superman trailer, there's news footage talking about a major flooding in the city, which happened in The Batman. So same universe? Did James Gunn lie? I haven't heard anything about who's going to be the new Batman. I really, really, really would be shocked if he put the Robert Pattinson Batman in the DCU.
There's no chance.
Do your own thing.
That movie is just, sad Batman. I mean, look, obviously Batman's a sad character, but I don't think it fits with James Gunn's universe.
There's no chance that happens.
And also,
that, and they're going to squeeze him into this shit while they still have the Batman 2 in purgatory.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
For development, I don't. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That could also be the reason why, James Gunn's keeping it in purgatory, because he doesn't want it to overshadow his Batman film.
Yeah.
Because we already know, he already talked about it. They're doing The Brave and the Bold, where, Robin is his son. They're doing that version. So we'll see what they do there. Joey Von Doom, good evening, gentlemen. How would y'all rank these Tom Cruise movies I haven't seen yet? Looks like he hasn't seen a lot of them.
Go ahead.
Oblivion?
No.
Well, he said rank them.
I know.
Oblivion, no.
4.
Collateral, A Few Good Men, Jerry Maguire. Yeah, so that looks like it's it. He also says, when are we getting a Mission Impossible recap? I promise I'm not looking into Scientology. Mission Impossible is like next week, so we can like do a brief thing on it, I guess. But Mission Impossible, there's not much to talk about other than like, holy shit, did you see him, jump off the plane? Like the plot, there's really nothing to talk about plot-wise in Mission Impossible.
Isn't that your favorite movie, Joe? A Few Good Men?
Yeah. That's number 1 for me.
So that's number 1 for Joe.
Jerry Maguire's amazing. That's 2. Collateral 3, Oblivion 4. That's my rankings.
I'd go Collateral 1, Few Good Men, Jerry Maguire, Oblivion.
Yeah.
They're all good. Even Oblivion's good.
It's fine.
But it's not his 4th best film. Obviously Edge of Tomorrow belongs on there. But he's talking about movies he hasn't seen.
He hasn't seen.
Right.
It's been so long for Jerry Maguire. I think I really have to watch Jerry Maguire and like all of A Few Good Men as an adult to really rank them. But yeah, Collateral's my number 1 Tom Cruise film. It's either that or Edge of Tomorrow. Like those are like my 2 favorite.
Edge of Tomorrow is incredible.
Yeah.
It is.
Collateral's
really
just
good.
a fucking fantastic grounded film that like when the trailer came out, they showed you nothing. You saw nothing. And it was like, well, what the fuck? I'm not interested to see this. But then like Aaron and I watched it because when we worked at the theater at the time, it was like, you have to watch the film reels before we, put them the night before. So we checked it out and it was like, holy shit. It's just awesome.
Like
one of the best thrillers.
All-time villain in that movie he was.
That's the other thing is like Tom
nowhere.
Cruise. It's like the only time he's been a villain, right?
He flipped a switch and he was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. So that's all for fan questions. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Hollywood Hog Pod. Also become a supporter of the show. Get all the bonus podcasts at patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. And we'll see you guys next week for episode 9, season 6 of Dark Side of the Ring. It's on the Scream Queen Daphne.
Wow.
You remember her?
A little bit.
She had some time in WCW.
Yeah.
Then TNA. It's definitely going to be a tragic episode.
All right.
That's for sure. So we'll see you guys next week.